Another big story we've been covering this morning. A man who allegedly opened fire at two Kansas City area Jewish centers, killing 3 people. Well, he is expected to appear in court today. The shooting has stunned the community. Most of all, this woman. We want to show you the mother and son of 2 of the victims who bravely spoke at a vigil just hours after the shooting happened. Listen to this emotional sound.
My name is Mindy Corcoran. I'm the daughter of the gentleman who was killed, and I'm the mother of the son who was killed. And I want to tell you how much I appreciate you all being here. I heard that there was going to be a vigil, and we all grieve in different ways. And I just wanted to tell people thank you.
We're joined now by Congressman Kevin Yoder of Kansas. The grandfather and grandson who were victims here were members of Yoder, where that vigil was held just yesterday. Congressman, thank you very much for your time this morning. I hope you could hear that. That was Mindy Corcoran, who was so strong speaking at that vigil, talking about her father, talking about her son. They were members of your same church. Did you know them?
I didn't know them personally, but our entire community feels connected to this family. As you know, this is a suburban area of Kansas City. This is an area of lots of schools and families, and yesterday afternoon when this news came out that this killing had occurred right here in Overland Park, just about 12 blocks from my house, it struck all of us personally. I attended church services later in the day at about 5 o'clock where our pastor, Adam Hamilton, at the United Methodist Church of Resurrection informed us that the people that had been killed who had yet been identified at that time were members of our church, usually attend that service. We're volunteers in the church, and we're just really upstanding community members. And so I think we're all very stunned that this could happen right here in our community. I'm sure, as we all do, we watch these news stories about these horrific acts across the country. And yesterday's act occurred, hit very close to home, obviously. And so I think we've just got a very stunned community right now. And these victims and their families, our hearts are breaking for them today in Kansas.
And you always think when you see these stories that this couldn't happen to your neighborhood. Your heart always breaks, but you think that it couldn't happen to you, and it did hit so close to home. There was a 3rd victim who is yet to be identified, who was killed at another Jewish center nearby. Did you know anything about her?
We don't know much about her at this point. We'll say that I'm standing this morning in front of the Jewish Community Center, which is a center that serves the entire community. We've got a very active Jewish community here, but a very active community that attends the center and is involved. And the first shooting occurred here, but the second occurred almost 8 blocks away at a Village Shalom retirement community that also serves people of many denominations. And so we don't know much about the victim there yet, but we do know that this rampage that started here moved on down the road and took another victim. We're still trying to learn more about what occurred there, but obviously it's something that stunned a lot of us.
Now, Congressman, I don't think anyone's going to probably fully be able to understand why something horrific as this could happen. This is being investigated as a hate crime. Can you tell us anything about what authorities think happened and why this man went on this deadly rampage?
Well, we don't know enough about what his motives are, but boy, his history tells us a lot about what his motives probably were. This is an individual that we're learning this morning had a long history of anti-Semitism, racism, had been ahead of several white supremacy groups. He is a Missouri resident, we understand, from several hours away that, as far as we can tell, have no connection to our community here in suburban Kansas City, who drove apparently into our community yesterday to commit these acts. Now, you know, to pick the Jewish Community Center and to pick Village Shalom, given his background, really tells us these are probably targeted killings, and that he had, you know, anti-Semitism as his driving force as he arrived here yesterday. As we said earlier, 2 of the members that were killed were members of my church, the United Methodist Church of Resurrection, and so his obviously anti-Semitism hit home to our entire community, no matter what religion you're from. But it appears to be driven by hate, and I know the FBI is investigating this today, and the man is to be arraigned, I believe, this morning in our district court, and so we'll hopefully learn much more in the hours and days to come.
Yeah, all happening just before we're about to mark the Passover holiday. could not hit a time for that community and for the country, of course. Congressman, thank you very much. I wish we were speaking on very different circumstances, but thank you so much for your time this morning.
As do I. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks so much.